All right, everybody. Welcome back. It is week 2. We're going to get into your NFL week 2 predictions. Shout out to you guys for rocking with us tonight. Much love to the Wrench Gang. Much love to the family, all the listeners, all the watchers. We had an interesting week 1. Lots of craziness going on. Ridiculous blowouts. Aaron Rodgers got injured. Week 2. Week 2, expect more drama, more craziness, and we're gonna get into it tonight. Make sure you guys hit that like, that thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel. Click that bell, turn on your notifications so you don't miss a stream. As far as my stream schedule, before we get into the predictions, Sunday, obviously it's gonna be the Bills and the Raiders. That's at 1:00, and then it should be. That's right. Jets Commanders. Yeah, Jets Commanders at 4. And then you're going to have your Browns and Steelers. So, yeah. Make sure you guys lock it in and subscribe. I'll also post up the stream schedule on the community post page. So, there you go. Shout out to you guys. Sheila says, did you see his interview today? Rodgers? Yeah, I seen Rodgers' interview. I'll be honest. I don't think he's coming back. Definitely want to see him recover from his injury, but I just don't see that man stepping back on the field. I could be wrong, and this man could have the greatest comeback in history, but I just don't see it. It's a significant injury. Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old. And I just don't see how it could work out that way. But you never know. You never know. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. Your NFL Week 2 predictions. All right. What's up, Jonas? Shout out to you, my man. What's going on with you tonight? All right, so obviously Thursday Night Football was your Vikings and Eagles. I had the Eagles by 3, so I'm currently 1-0 right now, starting the week off strong. I called it. What's going on with the Eagles as far as them looking shaky when it comes to the second half? Looks like the defense is just going to sleep. I don't like it. This is the second week in a row. But hey, a win's a win, and I guess that's all that matters. But the real question is, when they come up against a solid defense themselves and an amazing offense, what is really going to happen? And I really think they're going to be put to the test. But hey, they got the win. I had them by a field goal. They won 34-28. And there you go. What's up, Rodney? Shout out to you, bro. Lucas says Aaron is done. They need Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, that's not going to happen. All right, so next up on the list, it will be your Packers and Falcons. This is obviously going to be a 1:00 game. Getting into the matchup predictor, 48.1% for your Packers, 51.5% for your Falcons. Both teams are 1-0. Falcons will be playing at home. As far as your passing yard leaders, Jordan Love, who looks poised, focused, fitting right in with that Packers team with 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. Desmond Ridder with 115 yards, 1 touchdown. On the rushing side, Jones with 41 yards, 1 touchdown, and Algier with 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving, you got Jones again with 86 yards, 1 touchdown, and then Kyle Pitts with 2 receptions and 44 yards. As for the current injury report, you have Jones is questionable, Watson's questionable, Quay Walker is questionable, and David Bakhtiari is questionable as well. For the Falcons, you've got Troy Anderson and Jeff Okudah is questionable. As for the spread, Atlanta's favored by 1.5, and your over-under is 40. As much as I really appreciate Jordan Love and his game and what he's bringing to the table in that Packers defense. I just feel like Atlanta at home, they're going to show us something. I mean, if you look at the defense, they only allowed 146 passing yards. They did allow 154 rushing yards, but I definitely think you're going to try to see Jordan Love pass the ball with that Packers offense more than run. So, yeah, I think this will be a great game. Looking forward to it as well. Obviously, we'll be doing the Bills and Raiders, but I'll be paying attention to the score as this goes on. So for this one, I'm going to go Falcons at home. I will go Falcons at home, and give me a touchdown. Screw the 1.5. I'm going to go touchdown. So there it is. Next up, my Bills Mafia and the Raiders. Now listen, all kinds of discussion about Josh Allen, all kinds of questions in regards to his ability to be a leader. I said what I said about Sean McDermott. I still stand on it. I'm not fully convinced that he's the man for the job, but hey, here we are. Week 2, Bills 0-1, Raiders 1-0. This will be another 1 o'clock game. Bills will be playing at home. 28.4% for your Raiders on the matchup predictor. 71.4% for the Bills, obviously at home. Passing leaders, Jimmy Garoppolo, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Josh Allen, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. As far as the rushing side, Josh Jacobs, 48 yards. Cook with 46 yards. Mayers with 81 yards on the receiving, 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs with 102 yards and 1 touchdown. As far as your injury report, Chandler Jones is out. Jacoby Myers is out. And for the Bills, currently no one updated on the list. The discrepancies that the Bills have had at defense, I think, has been not only exploited getting into week 1, but they've been exploited since last year. The middle, the secondary, so many issues as far as what we can go over there. But if you look at the passing yards allowed, 177 for the Raiders, 94 rushing for the Raiders as well, 140 for the Bills, and then 172 on the rushing yards allowed. So if we can't get it together on the rushing, Bills Mafia, we're going to have a tough time when it comes to Jacobs and company. And guess what? They know that. If I know that, they know that. So they're going to exploit that fact. And hopefully we're planning for that. Hopefully we have a game plan in place to stop the run. And regardless, you guys know that I've got to go with my Bills Mafia. They are favored by 8 at home, 46.5. And
what's good, Jay?
I'm comfortable with that. I am comfortable with that. Shout out to Frederica coming through with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you, Frederica. Thank you for the $5 donation. Says, what's good? Everything's good. We're good. And we're having a good night. Thank you for the support, Frederica. Much love. Let's bring out Ric Flair. Ric Flair, where you at? Got to turn down the volume for you guys. Turn down the volume just a little bit. Just a little bit. And there it is. All right, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go Bills. I'll take the 8. I'm just really hoping in this game that nothing crazy happens. Josh Allen can focus, keep his head down, not make many mistakes. He's at home. He should be playing comfortable. And listen, Bills Mafia, you know, we focus on one thing, and then after that, we move on from it. And I think Allen knows that as well. You know, we'll hate you week 1. You get your stuff together week 2. Everyone forgets about week 1. So go out there, ball out, have a good game, and we move on from it. So there you go. Obviously, I'm going Bills for week 2. Next up. Now, this is actually going to be one of the games that I'm very, very, very interested in. It's going to be your Ravens and the Bengals. Now, obviously, everyone's going to talk about how Joe Burrow was injured, and that's why he had the issues that he had against the Browns. I say don't play if you're not prepared to go out there and win. And I'm hoping he can go out there this time and actually show everybody that they're right about him being the top 3 quarterback or in the top 3 for quarterbacks. So you got the Baltimore Ravens versus your Bengals at home. Ravens are 1-0. Bengals are 0-1 as we get into this one. Ravens, 48.2% on the matchup predictor. 51.5% for your Bengals. Lamar Jackson, 169 yards, 1 interception. Burrow with 82 yards. Jackson with 38 yards rushing. Mixon with 56. And Flowers with 78 receiving. And Chase with 39. Very low production for the Bengals last week. And to be honest, Lamar Jackson was a little rusty himself as well. You can tell that he's got to adjust. He's got to get back in there, feel the wind beneath his wings, as they would say. And I think he did okay. I think the second game is going to come out a little bit more aggressive. I think he'll be ready. The real question is on Burrow. And unfortunately, I just don't see it. I don't see it. But as far as the injury report, you got J.K. Dobbins. He's on IR. Mark Andrews is still questionable. Marlon Humphrey's out. Ronnie Stanley's out. Tyler Lindenbaum for the Bengals. Chris Evans, Joseph Asai, and Marcus Bailey are questionable. As for the Ravens, they're allowing 242 passing yards, but they're only allowing 72 on the rushing. As for the Bengals on the passing side, they're allowing 154, and then on the rushing, they're allowing 206. So a lot to be said there as far as what the defense is allowing on the Bengals versus the Ravens. Bengals are favored by 3 at home. Over-under is 46. As much as I don't want to, and it pains me to do this, I think Ravens are going to take them at home. And I'm going to have to go Ravens by a touchdown. I just don't think Burrow's there. And I think they're running into that same issue where they're going to have to figure it out for the first, 4 or 5 games. They get it together and then potentially try to repair themselves towards the end of the season. So there it is. Ravens for that one by 7. All right, next up. Got your Seahawks and the Lions. Now listen, Seahawks are no slouches, but this Lions team is totally different. I don't think anybody expected them to put up the fight that they did against the Chiefs. They went out there, they balled out. They showed grit, they showed determination. They put the NFL on notice. And they're going to be at home. Seahawks are 0-1, losing against the Rams. Detroit Lions are 1-0 with the win against the Chiefs. 35.1% for the Seahawks, 64.7% for your Lions. Geno Smith, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Jared Goff, 253 yards, 1 touchdown. Walker III with 64 yards in the rushing. Montgomery, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. DK Metcalf with 47 yards, 1 touchdown. And Reynolds with 80 yards on the receiving. As far as your injury report, Charles Cross is out. Jamal Adams, Bouye Mafi, Devin Bush, and Mike Morris. And then for your Lions, you've got Emmanuel Mosley, Taylor Decker, Khalil Dorsey, and Josh Pascal are out. For your defense with the Lions, they're allowing 226 on the passing, 90 on the rushing, and then for your Seahawks, 334 on the passing, and for the rush, 92. So Jared Goff is definitely going to pass this ball. He's going to get a lot of yardage this game, I'm assuming. And, I'm definitely expecting the Lions to ball out. As far as your spread, Detroit's favorite, 4.5 at home. 47 is your over and under. This is another one that I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions. I don't think I'm going to take, but I'm going to take the Lions, I think, by 7. think I'm going to go by 7 for those Lions. But I definitely have them taking the W at home. Touchdown victory. Touchdown victory for your Lions. All right. Next up, we have your Chargers and the Titans. Both teams taking an L. Obviously, your Chargers losing to Miami. Titans losing to the Saints by 1. Both tough games, tough victories for the opposing teams. So I'm not going to write off either team yet. Obviously, it's week 2, still early, still a lot of football left to play, but I do think this will be a great one. It's another 1 o'clock game. Titans will be at home. 62.8% for your Chargers, 36.9% for the Titans. For your season leaders, Herbert with 229 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Tannehill, 198 yards, 3 interceptions. Eckler with 117 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Henry with 63 yards. Hopkins with 65 yards in the receiving. And then Keenan Allen with 76 yards. Getting to the injury report, Joey Bosa is questionable. Austin Eckler's doubtful. Eric Kendricks doubtful. Chris Rumpf. And then Dayon Henley. And then as far as your Titans, Amani Hooker, Christian Fulton, DeAndre Hopkins, and Peter Skronsky. As for the defenses on both sides, we can sit back and talk about what Tua did as far as, throwing. Chargers defense basically had no answer. 466 yards allowed. And on the flip side with the Titans, they allowed 305 last week with Derek Carr and the Saints. But both did really good as far as the rushing, surprisingly. They only allowed 70 yards rushing. But hey, if you can throw the ball against them, you don't need to run it. So there you go. As far as the spread, Chargers favored by 2.5. Over-under is 45.5. As much as I love the Titans at home, I got to go with these Chargers. They're putting up the points. And from what I've seen with the Titans, they're just not capable of putting up that much offense. So I'm going to go Chargers by 14, even though these Titans are at home. So there you go. Chargers by 14. Next up, Bears and the Buccaneers. Obviously, your Bears are 0-1. They took a nasty loss to the Packers. Kind of feel sorry for the Bears fans out there. That was a big loss. But Jordan Love came out ready to ball. And it looks like Justin Fields did not. But hopefully, week 2, you guys will see a difference. Baker Mayfield surprising me. Yes, I did throw some shade at Baker Mayfield because I felt like Kyle Trask should be the man down there in Tampa. But hey, Baker Mayfield came and showed up. Moving into week 2, we'll see what he can do. They're 1-0. 47.5% for your Bears on the matchup predictor. 52.1% for your Buccaneers. I see you, Tactical. I knew you were coming. As for your season leaders, Justin Fields, 216 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Baker Mayfield, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fields, 59 yards on the rushing. White with 39 yards in the rushing. Mooney with 53 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Mike Evans with 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Who's going to be a free agent next year? I think that was the last thing I read. Yeah, Evans is going to be a free agent next year, and he's going to exercise his options to see what's out there. So Buccaneers, enjoy him while you can because he may be gone. As far as your injury report, Kyler, Gordon, and Josh Backwell for your Bears, and then Carlton Davis, Kalijah Cansey, Christian Eisen, and Servocia Dennis is out for the Buccaneers. As far as the passing yards allowed for the Bears, 245, 344 for the Buccaneers, 92 for the Bears, and then 41 for your Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's favored by 2.5. Over-unders 40.5. I'm expecting another close one. I'm going to be honest. These are two teams that I really just don't see being much of a threat outside of, their respective organizations right now. But I think I'm going to go ahead and go Tampa Bay at home. I'm going to go Tampa Bay at home. Baker Mayfield, I think he may be on to something down there in Tampa. And right now, I'm just not a believer in Justin Fields. Sorry, Immortal. Even though I haven't seen you in a while, I know you've been sulking in that loss, but it's okay. Still your friend, buddy. Come back. You can have your ball. I'm gonna go ahead and take Tampa Bay by a field goal, and yeah, I'll go Tampa Bay there against those Bears. Shout out to Richard. What up, man? Jeff King in the house. What up, Jeff? Big Ron. Let's go, yo. Bass player in the house. Gardaki's in the house. What's going on with you, ladies and gentlemen? John X says it's amazing that Burrow got paid about $3.25 million for about 22 minutes of work for 82 yards and a QBR of 52.2 last week. You know, we're not going to talk about week 1 anymore. We're going to move on. That goes for everybody. We're not going to talk about the Bengals. We're not going to talk about the Bills. We're not going to talk about the Chiefs. Well, yes, we're going to talk about the Chiefs because that's the next game coming up, ladies and gentlemen. And this is one of the games of my top 3 that I am really, really excited to see the highlights for, see the score. Obviously, I'll be doing the Bills and the Raiders during this game, but I will be paying close attention to this score. KC and the Jaguars. Now, listen. Obviously, we know that KC is coming off the loss from the Detroit Lions, but they didn't have Kelsey. They didn't have Chris Jones, in which you're going to have both of these guys back on the field when they play the Jaguars at home. So, I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be a monstrous game. KC's 0-1. Jacksonville's 1-0. Let's get into it. 61.3% for Kansas City. 38.4% for the Jaguars, which is crazy because they're at home. I think it's kind of disrespectful. I really do. I get it. KC's at full strength. But the Jaguars aren't any slouch. And if we were paying attention to what they did in the playoffs, they gave KC a run for their money. So, it's kind of disrespectful right here looking at this number, 38.4%. But let's get into it. Season leaders, Patrick Mahomes, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Trevor Lawrence, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Patrick Mahomes on the rushing, 45 yards. Etienne Jr., 77 yards, 1 touchdown. Valdez-Scantling with 48 yards on the receiving. Ridley with 101 yards, 1 touchdown. There's disrespect going on in this matchup predictor right now. It's not even we're expecting KC to win because they're KC and they're at full strength. This is disrespectful. The Jaguars are a great team and have a solid defense as well. Now, yes, not championship caliber yet, but they're there. They are there. And I'm expecting to see a great game. As far as your injury report, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is questionable, as well as Travis Kelce, but he's supposed to be in. As far as the Jaguars, Leonard Taylor, Brandon Scherf, Luke Fortner, Antonio Johnson, and Gregory Jr. And then as far as the stats, 253 passing yards allowed by the KC defense, as well as 118 on the rushing. Now listen, you can blame Chris Jones being out and all that, but he's only one man, all right? And KC still gave up 118 rushing yards and 253. And if Etienne Jr. is the man that I think that he can be, I think you're going to see a great run game from these Jaguars. 223 in the pass yards allowed versus 65 in the rush yards allowed for the Jags. That's saying something. It's going to be very, very interesting. Getting into the spread, KC's favored by 3.5. Over-under is 51, so they're expecting a high-scoring game. This says a lot to me here. When you have a matchup predictor showcasing 61.3%, but you're giving Kansas City 3.5 points, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? I think it's disrespectful. With that said, I got to go Jaguars with the upset. And I'll tell you why. We've had conversations time and time again in regards to Patrick Mahomes, right? We understand that he's talented. Travis Kelce as well. Chris Jones, that defense. But right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are going through a transition. And whether or not they're going to be that dynasty that everybody thinks they can be, opposed to these up-and-coming teams that have young players that are looking to ball out, that are hungry, and want to prove themselves. And that's what we're seeing in this Jaguars team right now. So guess what? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that it's probably going to look bad for the Jags in the beginning. But if they do go down, I think they're going to come back and win by a field goal. I'm going to go Jags by 3. So there you go. Jaguars by 3 against Kansas City. And that's going to be one of your upsets on Sunday. Somebody's ready to fight me. That's fine. I know how to fight. We can do it. Whatever you want to do. Or you can just hop on the stream and we can talk our junk. It's up to you. However you want to do it. Whatever you want to do, I'm down for it. I'm down for it all. But I got the Jags by 3. Joe Black says, what up, Jay? You're going with emotion with this pick. Chiefs are going to win? How did I show any emotion towards that? I didn't just go over stats and what the Jaguars have been doing versus KC and as far as the defense and what they've been allowing and all that stuff. I purely just came out and said, guys, I've got the Jags. That's it. Let's move on. I got the Jags. Really? I feel like you came in here emotional when you said that. That was an emotional response to my prediction. There you go. That's what that was. We had a conversation about feelings the other night on the last stream, right? Weren't we talking about feelings and emotions on the last stream? Well, Joe Black, there you go. You're showing emotions, my friend. You're showing emotions. All right. Jags by 3, ladies and gentlemen, as we keep it going. All right, next up, Colts and the Texans. I mean, this is what do we expect from C.J. Stroud and Richardson? But hey, 2 talented rookies. And should be another interesting one. 48.2% for your Colts, 51.4% for your Texans. They'll be at home. Stroud with 242 yards. Richardson with 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Richardson with 40 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. Pierce with 38 rushing yards. Collins with 80 yards on the receiving. And Michael Pittman Jr. with 97 yards, 1 touchdown. As far as the Colts injury report, you've got Quentin Nelson, Evan Hull, and Drew Ogletree. And then for the Texans, you got Neville Hewitt, Laramie Tunzel, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Petrie, and then Jimmy Ward. And as far as your Texans, they're allowing 169 on the passing, 110 on the rushing, 241 on the passing, 105 on the rushing for your Colts. And then as for the spread, Houston's favored by 1, 39.5, which means Vegas does not know who's going to win this game, and neither do I. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a toss-up, ladies and gentlemen. You could flip a quarter, and whichever one it lands on is probably who you should go with. But if I was flipping a quarter right now, I'd probably have to go with the Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. I like what Richardson did. I think he's got a solid team. He does need to have more development. Same thing with Stroud, but I just think Richardson's a little bit better. And I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. Take the Colts by a touchdown. So there you go. Colts by a touchdown. Next up, 49ers and Rams. I mean, I'm not going to disrespect Matthew Stafford. I'm not going to do it. He came out, he balled. But it was against the Seahawks, okay? And I really think that even though he had a decent win against the Seahawks, he's going to run into trouble. He's going to run into trouble against these 49ers. With that said, this is a game at 4:05. 65% for your 49ers on the matchup predictor, 34.2% for your Rams. Stafford, 334 yards. Purdy, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey, 152 yards rushing. Williams with 52. Atwell with 119 yards on receiving. Brandon Ayuk with 129. Listen, the 49ers are just a juggernaut right now on offense. Just on offense. Debo, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kittle. I don't have to bring up the defense. That's just how ridiculous it is. And I really think this Rams would need a full offense. You're missing Cooper Kupp. You need all of your weapons against this 49ers team. Yes, you've got Aaron Donald over there. You've got a decent defense. But listen, there's just, you got some safeties missing. Rams are in trouble on this one. They're in trouble. As for the injury report, 49ers, Samuel Womack III is out. Carl Coleman, Shelton, Nakoa, Ernest Jones, Taylor, and then Yeast is all questionable for the Rams. As for your Rams passing allowed is 112, 85 for the rushing. Pass yards allowed for the 49ers, 232. 41 yards allowed on the rushing for the 49ers defense. And that's against the Steelers offense, ladies and gentlemen. We know what we can expect from Najee Harris and Warren, and they couldn't do anything. So it's going to be tough sledding for any kind of run game. And I just don't think Stafford is going to have the time back there to make the plays that he needs to. With that said, and dare I say it, that these 49ers may make these Rams look like the Giants in week 1. And I got to hit you with the Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. And if you want to know the spread, 49ers are favored by 7. 45.5 is your over and under. There it is. All right, next up. Giants and Cardinals. So this will probably be the funniest game on Sunday. You got your Giants and the Cardinals. Both are 0-1. I'm probably just going to cut to the chase on this one. If the Giants lose this game, heads will roll in New York. Heads will definitely roll in New York. So I'm expecting a comeback game for the Giants. 64.7% versus 35.1%. Aguilar's out. Wando Robinson's out. Andrew Thomas, questionable. As for the Cardinals, you got Kelvin Beachum, Budda Baker, LJ Collier, Josh Woods, and Liku Fotu. And then for your spread, 4.5 for the Giants, 39.5 is your over-under. Jeff said flip a coin. It's like, I still don't believe in Daniel Jones, so I'll just flip a coin. I just have to give the Giants the benefit of the doubt. I have to. Against the Cardinals, and that's no disrespect to the Cardinals as if they're not a football team, right? They've got players out there that can go out and win and play ball. But just right now, as far as with their quarterback situation, them not having any real chemistry in the team going, I just don't see the Cardinals really doing much, if anything. So I have to go Giants here. And it's a shame because I'm actually concerned about going with the Giants right now. That's kind of ridiculous, right? Against the Cardinals. But that's the reality from what we've seen against the Cowboys. So I'm going to go Giants, but I feel awkward for doing it, which is insane. So there you go. No points either. Just straight money line by 1. All right, next up. This is going to be the second game that I am highly, highly interested in. And I will be streaming it. We will be streaming this. This is going to be absolutely ridiculous. There was all kinds of talks in regards to what the Jets were going to do at quarterback and whether or not Zach Wilson was going to be the guy. Well, listen. Robert Salah said he's the man. He said the Jets is his team. It's Zach's team. They're not going to search out anybody else. They're going to roll with Zach. Do I agree with it? It's not my business to say. It kind of is. Right now I do. And I'll tell you why. Right now, Zach Wilson has a chance to prove himself. This puts him in a pivotal point to not only show people that he's an NFL quarterback and he can go out there and ball, but with Rodgers going down that he can lead this Jets team to a real win by himself. Is it going to be damn difficult? Hell yes. We've seen what this Dallas defense can do. But there's something about an underdog that comes out every once in a while when they have to prove themselves. And I do think Zach Wilson can do it in this game. If he has the protection of his O-line that gives him time, he can move his feet, use those legs. Because you also got the Jets defense on the other side against Dak Prescott. So guess what? When you've got two high-powered defenses, you're going to have who makes the mistake first. And guess what? If Zach Wilson can make the least amount of mistakes, then Dak Prescott, who's at home and who's going to want to show out, it's going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Let's get into this one. 31.7% for the Jets, 68.0% for your Cowboys. Zach Wilson, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Dak Prescott, 143 yards. Breece Hall, 127 yards on the rushing. Pollard with 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lazard with 46 yards on the receiving. CeeDee Lamb, 77 yards. As for the injury report, Mekhi Becton, Dwayne Brown, Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Greg Zuerlein. And then as far as your Cowboys, Brandon Cooks, Donovan Wilson, Zach Martin, and Tyler Smith. As far as your passing yards allowed, 110 for the Cowboys, 236 for the Jets, 108 on the rushing for the Cowboys, 97 for your Jets. So that does make you wonder what's going to happen on the Cowboys' run game. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. With that said, Dallas is favored by 8.5. Over-under is 38.5. Low-scoring game, they're predicting. Low-scoring game. So what am I going to do here? Because both defenses are amazing, right? So am I just going to go with Dak Prescott because Dallas is a great defense? Am I going to go with the Jets because they have a great defense as well? Or am I going to pick who's going to make the least amount of mistakes out of both quarterbacks? It pains me to do this. But I have to trust in Dak Prescott at home. I've got to trust Dak Prescott at home. As tough as it is going to be for him, I think the Cowboys will do just enough to disrupt Zach Wilson. And I don't think he's going to be able to deal with that pressure. I just don't. I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to have some highlights. But I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I don't see that he's going to be able to get through this defense. Because if you're saying that Zach Wilson is better than Daniel Jones, then what kind of conversation are we having? That's what you're saying. If you're saying that the Jets are going to win this game, then you're saying that Zach Wilson is better than Daniel Jones. That's the reality of it. Richard says, "Say it ain't so, Jay." You know, it's one of those games. That's facts over feelings. That's facts over feelings, Joe Black. There it is. Richard says, "Screen passes to Hall and Dalvin Cook." Okay. You're throwing them screen passes, but guess what? If that defense can get through that O-line, 3-yard loss, 4-yard loss, big hit and a fumble, return for 6. Listen, there is a lot going on here with this Dallas defense, and they showed you guys what they're up to and what they're ready to, and what they're capable of against those Giants. Rick says, "I think Jets have a better defense, but Cowboys are right behind them." I mean, if I had to rank Jets defense right now, it'd have to be number 3. It'd have to be number 3. You got to go 49ers, and then you go Dallas, and then you go Jets right now. That's just the reality of it. It's just the reality of it. So I'm going Dallas, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going Dallas. And I'll take them by a touchdown. I'll take Dallas by a touchdown at home. This one's going to be crazy. I already know. It's going to be a roller coaster for sure. Joe Black says, "What about the run game? Who's better?" I mean, obviously, Brees is amazing. I mean, if I had to take a runner right now or a running back, it'd be Brees Hall over Tony Pollard. But the problem is this right here. So if they can't replicate this, then the Jets don't stand a chance. But I got to go Cowboys. Cowboys at home by 7. Richard says, "Isn't this the kind of game Dak throws 4 interceptions?" I mean, think about it, right? If Dallas's defense is what we know is who they are, and what we know they can do on the field, then it doesn't really matter what Dak does. All he has to do is protect the ball and keep feeding Tony Pollard. And if Dallas can use clock management to their advantage while doing all that, they win the game. I mean, that's your simple approach to it at home. If your defense is doing their job, you run that ball. Let that clock roll. You get a couple touchdowns. There it is. So, yeah. Benji says, "Jay's still having flashbacks from that coin flip between the Bills and Chiefs in the playoffs." I'm not having any flashbacks, my friend. No flashbacks for me, sir. No flashbacks for me. Tactical says, "Jay, when do we play Uncle Rico to come here to Tennessee?" Shout out to you, bro. Jeff King says, "Oh, I see highlights. They involve a man named Parsons." Yeah, Parsons, man. If Parsons can get his hand on Wilson, he is going to tear him a new one. And you guys know I'm 100% right about that one. He is not going to waste no time trying to show everybody that he is no joke, and especially against Zach Wilson. It's going to be unreal. It really is. I'm excited to see it. It's going to be a great game. I will be streaming it, so if you guys have not, make sure that you lock in and subscribe. And, yeah. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Commanders and Broncos. Commanders are 1-0. Denver, 0-1. So much talk in regards to Sean Payton and how he's going to change things around, and he wanted Russell Wilson to stop kissing the baby and focus on football. Well, Denver took the L in week 1. Sam Howell and company took the win. This will be another game midday at 4:25 on Sunday. But 33.3% for the Commanders, 66.4% for the Broncos at home. Russell Wilson, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sam Howell, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Robertson Jr., 19 carries for 59 yards. Williams with 52 yards. On the receiving side, Samuel with 54 yards and Pirine with 37. As far as your injury report, Jartavius Martin is out. Denver Broncos, Caden Stearns, Frank Clark, and Greg Dulcich are out. As far as defenses, obviously you've got Broncos allowing 200 yards on the passing, on the rushing 61, and then on the flip side you've got the Commanders allowing 132 yards on the passing and then 96 on the run. So on paper, Commanders defense is a little bit better. Over-under is going to be 39. Line is 3.5 for Denver at home. It's another coin flip. I don't trust Russell Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. I don't trust him. I just don't. I just really, as much as I want to say, oh, yeah, Denver at home, I can't say that anymore. I just can't say it, right? Remember a time when John Elway played and Peyton Manning, and you're like, oh, yeah, Denver at home. Well, Russell Wilson's there. I just can't say it. Yeah, I got to go against the grain here. I'm going to agree with you, Ryan. Commanders by 3. I just don't trust this Denver team at all. It's sad. It really is. They've completely ruined a legendary and a historic franchise. So, give me Washington by 3. I'm hoping that Russell can change things around, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. I'm not trying to hate on the man. I'm not trying to hate on the Broncos. But it's just the reality of it. We know the talent they have over there, but we just haven't been seeing it. So I got to go Commanders by 3. All right, Sunday night. This will be the last game on Sunday night that I'm going to be streaming, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be an AFC East matchup. I'm expecting a dogfight. Dolphins and the Patriots. No, Jay, why would you be expecting a dogfight? It's Miami. It's Tua. He threw for 466 yards. Well, listen. You've seen what the Patriots did against those Eagles. And I've been telling you since preseason that the Eagles basically had the second most complete team in the NFC. And the Patriots found a way to almost win that game. So, the fact that Miami won by 2 against the Chargers lets me know that this is going to be an interesting one. I definitely think that Bill Belichick is going to be well prepared for Tua in that offense. Obviously, Miami is looking to utilize that pass more than the run. They've already got that on paper. Bill Belichick should be ready for it. Mac Jones, I think he's going to be more prepared and ready to go for week 2. Let's get into this one. 66.6% for your Dolphins, 38.1% for New England. Tagovailoa, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Mac Jones, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pay attention to those stats. The only difference is the yardage, ladies and gentlemen. On the rushing side, Mostert, 37 yards, 1 touchdown. Elliott, 29 yards. On the receiving, Tyreek Hill, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Absolutely ridiculous. Bourne with 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. As far as the injury report, Elijah Campbell, Julian Hill, Jalen Phillips, and Teron Armstead are all questionable. For the Patriots, Jonathan Jones, Devontae Parker, Mike Onwenu, Cole Strange, and Trent Brown are all questionable. As for the Patriots, they're only allowing 170 passing yards and 97 on the rushing. On the flip side, Miami is allowing 229 passing yards and 233. Bill Belichick is going to eat that defense alive. It's going to be a shootout, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be probably another high-scoring game. Miami is favored by 3, 46.5. I'm going to flip that. I'm going to go Patriots by 3 at home. I'm going Patriots by 3 at home. And then we'll see both teams being 1-1 in the AFC East. Richard says Dolphins for a win unless Tua gets hurt. Benji says Mac Jones sucks. You know what's funny? I remember, what was it, 21? Mac Jones came out. He was balling. Everybody was, he's the next Tom Brady. Brady 2.0. Somebody has a bad season. Now they suck. It's crazy. Joe Black says Miami versus Patriots is always a coin flip. There you go. There you go. But I got to go Patriots at home. I think, like I said, Bill Belichick is going to out-coach Miami. And I think this would be a good one, without a doubt. Sunday Night Football and Dolphins and the Patriots. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. This is another one that I will be streaming on Sunday night. So, like I said, make sure that you guys are here for it and lock it in. Ryan says Mac Jones has an off day like last season a few times. Miami defense will eat them alive. Need I say more, my friend? Need I say more? Miami is allowing 462 yards of offense. That is not eating anybody alive. That's giving up way too much yardage. And yes, they beat the Chargers by 2, but guess what? The defense is trash for letting them get that many points. So it comes down to a game of mistakes. Who's going to make less mistakes? Patriots by 3. Patriots by 3.
Done the Rams prediction yet smile #support.
Shout out to you, Furious Storm. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I did. You'll probably have to scroll back probably about 15, 20 minutes. Something like that. Shout out to you, Furious. Thank you for the support. About 15, 20 minutes ago for the Rams prediction. But I'll drop the timestamps once this is all done and finalized and stuff, so you guys will have it. And then I'll also drop video. I'll drop these in clips too, so you guys will be able to get the individual games if you don't watch the whole stream. So we'll work that out. All right, so Patriots by 3, ladies and gentlemen. Rick says Miami and defense shouldn't be in the same sentence. That's what I'm trying to tell people, but hey, a lot of these emotional responses. Miami defense, they're gonna do great. They're gonna win. Did you look at the numbers, sir? They gave up almost 500 yards. My goodness. Ryan says, I didn't hear what you think the score of the 49ers will be. Yeah, I didn't give the score, man. I just said don't be surprised if we see another Giants situation. Self-explanatory, my friend. Self-explanatory. All right, let's get into the next one. We got 2 more to go. This is going to be for your Monday night. We got 2 games, ladies and gentlemen, for Monday night. I'll drop a poll to see which one you guys want to stream. I already know which one, but I'm going to be that guy and drop a poll anyways because, want to give you guys a chance to vote. But you got your Saints and the Panthers. I know you guys are all just excited to see Bryce Young go up against these Saints. It's going to be at 7:15 on Monday night. Panthers will be at home. Saints are 1-0. Panthers are 0-1. 61.4% for your Saints, 38.3% for the Panthers, Bryce Young with 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Derek Carr, 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Williams with 45 yards on the rushing. Sanders with 72. Chris Olave with 112 yards on the receiving. Hurst with 41 yards, 1 touchdown. As far as the injury report, Saints, JT Gray is questionable. Peyton Turner on IR. Kendre Miller unquestionable. Panthers, Brady Christensen, Taylor Motton, DJ Clark Jr., and J.C. Horn. As for the Panthers, they're allowing 115 on the passing, 130 on the rushing. Saints allowing 198 on the passing and 104 on the rushing. Over-under is going to be 39.5. Saints are favored by 3, which is really interesting to me. All right, you've got a solid quarterback in Derek Carr. The run game is lacking, obviously, because Kamara's out, but you've got some good receivers over there, and the defense is powerful for the Saints. But they did only beat the Titans by 1. So where does that leave us with these Panthers? Where does that leave us? Questionable Bryce Young. That's exactly where that leaves us. What kind of game are you going to get out of this guy? And whether or not the defense has anything for Derek Carr, which, I mean, considering the yards they're allowing at this point, on paper, they should disrupt a little bit. But your real X factor is whether or not Bryce Young is going to show up and play at home. Rick says, Saints, I want you to suffer watching it. That is not going to happen. But with that said, I mean, even with the veteran presence on the Panthers right now, I just don't think Bryce Young is truly ready for prime time. He's still in develop mode. This is going to be Derek Carr on a Monday Night Football game and company. I think I'm fine going with the Saints by 3. I think that makes sense as far as what the line is saying and probably what's going to happen. Close, tight games. It's the South for you, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll go Saints there by 3. All right. Last but not least, this is most likely going to be the Monday night game we're going to stream. Last but not least, and this is also a big game that I'm paying attention to, the third game that I'm going to be paying attention to with a lot of insight and curiosity. The Browns and the Steelers. Now, I had the Steelers number 6 in my power rankings coming into week 1. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers let me down completely. I just could not believe what I seen. I couldn't believe the difference from what happened in preseason to week 1. And yes, we can say the 49ers are the reason why we didn't get to see the Steelers do anything and be who they are, because they just practically weren't ready. But you could say the same thing would have possibly happened if the Browns played the Steelers in week 1. But I have to say, this could be the game where everything changes. I'm sure that Mike Tomlin gave that Steelers team a good stern talking to. I'm sure there was a lot more said in that locker room than what we'll ever know. But yeah, you got Steelers at home, Browns coming in. And don't get me wrong, Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, that Browns defense looks tough. Njoku, as much as I don't want to right now, it's leaning more towards these Browns. And to be honest, 59.6% makes sense out of 40.1 for these Steelers, even though they're at home. For some reason, it just looks like the Steelers is just not that team. And as much as the talent they have with Harris, Warren, McFarland, we don't really see much of McFarland, and when we do, it's kind of sporadic. But that Pickett to Pickens combo was supposed to be golden. They were saying this man was the next Justin Jefferson, and we're not seeing that right now. And it's really unfortunate because we don't get to witness that combo. Will we see it this week? I'm hoping so. But the Browns defense is no joke as well right now. Deshaun Watson, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kenny Pickett, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Nick Chubb, 106 yards on the rushing. Harris with 31 yards on the receiving. Moore with 43. Robinson, the second, with 64. As far as your injury report, you've got Juan Thornhill, Siaka Ika, Maurice Hurst, Shelby Harris, and Jedrick Wills, all questionable. For your Steelers, Cameron Hayward, James Daniels, Deontay Johnson, Anthony McFarland Jr., Larry Ogunjobi, either questionable, IR, or doubtful. As far as the Browns defense, they're only allowing 82 passing yards and 75 rushing. Now, yes, you could say Burrow was injured and Burrow was this and Burrow was that. But listen, when you step on that field, you are expected to go out there and play at your full potential and win. And he didn't do that. So the difference is you're getting a healthy Kenny Pickett, who got destroyed by the 49ers last week. Their defense is allowing 220 yards in the passing and 188 on the rushing. Now, I will say this. Nick Chubb is no McCaffrey, but he's Nick Chubb. So I do expect to see him heavy on the run game, with him allowing 220 yards in the passing. Deshaun Watson's going to get his burn. I'm going to have to give the Steelers their second loss in week 2. Over under 38.5. Cleveland's favored by 2.5. I'm going to go Browns by a touchdown. Browns by a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. And there you go. Marcus Hines says they played one game. We really can't predict what is going to happen. It's a long season ahead of us. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, you obviously use the previous week as a sample as far as how this week's going to go. And unless there's any kind of specific changes or, injuries and things like that, I mean, you're always looking at the previous week as far as a guideline for the next one. That's just the reality of it. I mean, if that's the case, nobody should be worried about Dallas, right? It was week 1. They just had a great game. Shout out to you, Kelly. Much love to the family. Rick says this game is a coin flip for me. Like I said, it really all depends. But we're just not seeing that Steelers team that we expected to see out of preseason. And Cleveland's looking to make a point right now. Deshaun Watson's riding that high horse, and he's got a solid team behind him. And when you come out like that, it means something. So, like I said, I'm going Browns by a touchdown. Rodney says, got me on this one. I like the Steelers, but Cleveland, hands up. Bob says, hope my Chiefs can win. Sorry, Jags. We'll see. We shall see. I think that's the upset of the week. Because, listen, I don't really consider that Lions and Chiefs game to be an upset game. I really don't. I think a lot of people slept on the Lions, even when I was saying last year that it was a different team and Jared Goff was looking to come out and ball. So your upset is Kelsey coming back, Chris being there, and Jags coming back and getting a victory. I think that's going to be the upset of the week. Ian says, hope the run game for the Steelers shows up. We'll see. Cleveland talking a lot. Yes, they are. Furious Storm, Jay, have you posted what games you're covering? Didn't want to interrupt, came in late. I'm going to post up the games I'm covering on the community post after the stream. So, yeah, we'll put that up after the stream. So, yeah. Shout out to you, Luta. Robert says, Vegas blew the spread. People are not because I'm a Jets fan, but the Jets are not losing by 10 points this week against the Cowboys. Dak will be the quarterback who gets rattled, just like Josh Allen. You know what? Robert, why'd you have to come in here towards the end of the stream with this BS? I was trying to have a nice, calm stream, and you had to throw in Josh Allen at the end. You couldn't just say Dak will be the quarterback who gets rattled. You had to say just like Josh Allen, right? All right. Okay. Totally fine. Marcus says, yeah, you're right about that. You got me on that, but we will see, though. We will see. Robert, I'm not even going to address you tonight because I'm having a great night. And I'm just chilling. I'm not looking to start a fight. Although I'm not taking it out on the chin at all. Zach Wilson is going to get destroyed by Micah Parsons. At some point in the game, you're going to see him get his back blown out and take forever to get up. Sir, since you wanted to go there. Jericho Green, let's go. Shout out to you, Jericho. My man Jericho coming through with the $10 super chat. Says Niners butcher the Lambs 2-0. Great stream as usual. Jericho, I said it, man. I said it. The 49ers are definitely going to probably have a repeat of that Giants Cowboys.
Niners butcher the Lambs 2-0. Great stream as usual.
So yeah, shout out to you, Jericho. Much love. My man over there at Jericho Green, speaking the truth as usual. Check out his channel, ladies and gentlemen. My man JG in the building. Jonas says 49ers get smashed by the Rams. 49ers taking that L? Oh, wow. You know what? I should have known that was coming. I should have known that was coming. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. I should have known that was coming. Furious Storm coming through says sleeping on the Bills.
Low let sleeping on the Bills. Heart. Blue heart. Jets lose by 27.
Shout out to you, Furious Storm. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you for the donation. Regardless, I don't care who we going against. I got to go Bills. That's just what it is. But Jets losing by 27. I got Dallas at home by a touchdown. By 27, I just don't see it. That Jets defense, they're going to ball out. They're strong. And they're going to make it uncomfortable for Dak. They are going to make it uncomfortable for Dak. Joyce B says, I lived in Jacksonville 17 years. Went to lots of Jags games. Shout out to you, Joyce. Shout out to you. Yeah, I went to Jags team when they had Mark Brunell. Way back in the day. Way back in the day. Shout out to you, Rodney. Much love, man. Jonah says, you don't think Aaron Donald can get a hold of Purdy? I mean, I'm not saying that he can't, but that O-line is protecting Purdy back there. And the kid can move. The kid can move. He can definitely move. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Kata says, Browns rookie on TJ Watt should be interesting. That could be something to pay attention to. Without a doubt. Shout out to you, Bob. What's going on, bro? Furious Storm says, Rams going to be lambs? Ain't nothing wrong with a little lamb curry. A little lamb curry sometimes, you know. Jonas says, I don't want to hear those excuses when Rams make the 49ers lose. Jonas, you're 0-1 right now, sir. So calm down. Okay? Calm down. Sheila says, OMGJ, good old days. I know you knew who Thunder and Lightning was. I gotta go back. Fred Taylor? Keenan McCardell, am I right? Don't hate me if I got that wrong, but I'm trying. It's so far back, and I got so many names in my head and so many teams. So let me know if I'm right. Wait until Quentin Williams sits on Dak. Why would you want him to sit on Dak? Come on now. Big Lazy says Jonas needs to be drug tested. Oh, you guys are hilarious. You guys are absolutely hilarious. Teddy says Bengals always let Lamar Jackson win. Dang. Always? Sheila, Jimmy Smith. Yeah, Jimmy Smith was great. Jimmy Smith. Yeah, Keenan. Yeah, Keenan was a beast back in his day too. Keenan was pretty amazing. Yeah, them old Jags. Them old Jags. Jonas says, hold up, Jay. I had a better last week than you. Say what? Say what? You only had a better week than me because the Bills lost. We were pretty much dead even. You had the Jets. That was it. But we're not talking about last week anymore. We're on week 2. This is a week 2 stream, sir. And right now, I'm 1-0. So guess what? Just like that. You gotta be quiet tonight. You gotta be quiet tonight, sir. You 0-1. You took them Vikings when I told you them Eagles was gonna take care of business. Furious says Aaron Donald had a farm, and on that farm there was some 49ers. Oh my goodness, I'm not reading that. Really, Furious? Shout out to you, Sarah. What up, Sarah? Robert says, sorry, Jay, but I had to give an example, and Josh was the only one. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. You could have said Joe Burrow. You just see my face and was like, let me throw in Josh Allen to ruin Jay's night. Jonas says, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, 49ers lose this week. I'm only agreeing with you on 2 of those. Jonas says, not my fault Jefferson fumbled the football. It is your fault because you picked him. Doesn't matter what happened. You still picked the loser. Sir? My goodness. This is ridiculous. We can't make excuses for losses. We have the conversation. We move on. You seen what happened. He should have held on to the damn ball. That's Justin Jefferson fumbling the ball when you trying to get in for a touchdown. Ridiculous. That was a rookie mistake. And you know it was. I'm going to stretch as far as I can. Absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to John X as Rams beating the Niners. Niners makes as much sense as becoming an ejection seat test pilot on board a helicopter. Yo. I have never heard that before. That was hilarious, John X. Shout out to you, man. My goodness. Bob says you're not staying up late for the Colorado game tomorrow. It's questionable right now. I'll have to see how I feel. We got a long Sunday. So if I'm up for it, you guys will get the notification. If I'm not, obviously you guys won't. But it may be in the cards. We'll see. You guys know. I'm on from Sunday from 1 to 11. And I think that Colorado game is at 10 o'clock. So would I be streaming until like 1 in the morning? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I love football, but I'm going to need some sleep if I'm going to be streaming all day. It's either going to be this. It's going to be stream the Saturday night game and then the Bills and then the Jets and Cowboys, and I skip out on Sunday night. Or I don't stream Saturday night and then I stream 3 games on Sunday. That's probably what it's most likely going to be. I'll make the decision tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. I will let you guys know. Bob, they're playing Colorado State. Yeah, Colorado State. So it's Colorado versus Colorado State. Another crazy, crazy game we'll have. Sheila says, Jay, love that you're a Florida State fan. Yeah, FSU. Rick says, just drink some milk and you'll be good. Yeah, milk solves everything, especially when you're lactose intolerant. It's a great advice, Rick. Thanks. Thank you. I'll make sure I go pick up some lactate tonight. That'll make it all better. All better. Joyce says, damn, I'm going to have to take a nap before the game. It's going to be a late one. It's going to be crazy. So, yeah. 2001 Cobra Saline says, how about Gators versus Tennessee? I like them Volunteers. They had a decent year last year. Gators have been shaky over the years, though. Robert says, listen, well, I mean, Jay, what? Come on, Robert. Oh, okay, I get it. I'm tired. Y'all hit me with all kinds of like lefts and rights, and I'm gonna have to take my. I didn't take my vitamin today. That's what it is. I gotta take my vitamin before I go to sleep. Listen, Jay. I will keep Josh Allen's name out my mouth. Listen, you can say Josh Allen all you want. Just say it to yourself. And if you're gonna say it with your chest. Put his name in all caps. Mean it. Rick says 2%. Yeah. I just don't like the taste of 2%. I need the whole milk. If I'm gonna drink milk, it's gotta be whole milk. All or nothing. That's me. I don't half step anything. I don't have to. If I'm gonna do it, I do it all the way. All the way. If I'm drinking milk, it's gotta be whole milk. If I'm gonna stream football, it's gonna be 3 games on Sunday. I'm doing it all. I'll half step. Some of these other streamers, I'll do the 1:00 game and then I gotta get off and be a little girl and then I guess I'll come back and I'll stream the night game. Nah, do all 3 like Jay does. They don't put in the work like me. Iconic Short says, sorry, Jay, I was at work all day and I just didn't have time. Listen, that's what the replay button is for. You can rewind this thing. All you got to do is just make sure that before you take it back to Blockbuster, put it in the VCR and rewind it, and then you can watch it again. It's all good. Just make sure you do that for the next person. Be kind, rewind. And if you don't know what that means, you're not old enough to rock with your boy Jay. Be kind, rewind. Furious Storm says, I like Josh Allen, but until he's back in form, I shall call him Josh Fowlin. I mean, it's a joke, I guess, but it's not funny. It just doesn't really make sense. Bob says, Jay, I got here late. What 3 games you doing? You know what? Let me go through it. Let me go through it for you guys. I'll give you the schedule right now, but I'll also put it up on the community chat for you guys as well. So obviously I'm doing my Bills Mafia and the Raiders at 1. That's going to be a 1:00 game. And then the 4:25 that's going to be the midday game, the Jets and the Cowboys. And then the Sunday night is going to be your Dolphins and the Patriots. So there you go. That'll be my 3 games on Sunday. And then obviously Monday night, we're doing the Browns and the Steelers. Hopefully it's a good game. But I just got this weird feeling that the Browns are going to go out there and upset the Steelers too. I'm just saying, if you can do the Bengals like that, you should be able to do the Steelers like that. I'm just saying, unless it's a fluke. Flukes do happen. They do. Shout out to you, Mystic. Says, go Bills. You got the Bills on Sunday, Jay. Who else would I have against the Raiders? My friend, who else would I have? Jacob, what up, man? What's going on, bro? Furious Storm says, Jay went to Blockbuster like me. He's definitely at least 31. I wish I was 31. I wish. Jacob says, Jay, I might be going out with my friends on Monday night for the Pittsburgh game. Shout out to you, Jacob. Enjoy yourself, man. Treat yourself. Enjoy it. You're going to need it. They're probably going to need you in the stands rooting for them. So if you're a real Steelers fan, they may need you at the game because they're going up against those Browns. It's going to get real. Rick says, if the Bills lose, it's going to be a long season. Rick, I'm not dealing with any negativity tonight. None. Out to Jonas coming through with the $5 super chat. Says Dallas beats Jets 33-17. Get your pillow ready, Storm and Hoodie J. Bills, Chiefs.
Dallas
Bengals,
beats Jets 33-17.
No
Get your pillow ready, Storm and Hoodie J. Bills, Chiefs, Bengals and 49ers take a huge lose. No excuses. #DC4 Life.
This is so ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and deal with this tonight, Jonas. All right? 33-17. You think Dak is going to go out there and ball like that with that offense right now? Or are you saying that the defense is going to put up 33 points? Which one? Which one? I'll take the Chiefs because I think the Jags are going to upset them. And the Bengals because the Ravens, yeah. But the 49ers lose to the Rams? No, sir. No. Robert's got Jets 24, Cowboys 20. Wow. Andrew says, remember me? Andrew, don't come in here tonight asking questions, bro. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it. I'm gonna let the mods have at you tonight, bro. If you come in here on that garbage, you better ask a predictions question or have something insightful in regards to some of these predictions for week 2. But if you come in here asking me questions about any Cowboys player specifically, it's going to be me and you, bro. It's going to be me and you. I promise you. Bob says Dallas 17, Jets 0. Okay. Furious Storm says, thank you for supporting Jay. Jonas, now I can respect you a little bit. You guys are so ridiculous, yo. Shout out to Eric. What up, man? What's going on with you tonight, bro? Rick says, ask about the Cowboys, Andrew. Andrew, I dare you to ask me a question about a Cowboys player tonight. I dare you. Andrew says, I was just messing with you the other night. All right. My bad. All right. I'm gonna let you slide tonight, sir. I'm gonna let you slide tonight because you was a little bit out of control. Andrew popped up on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. He was brand new, fresh. He was asking me about every player on the Cowboys. Jay, how do you feel about Troy Aikman? Jay, how do you feel about Roger Staubach? Jay, how do you feel about Emmitt Smith? Jay, do you think that Michael Irvin still smokes crack? Like, what are you doing? I'm trying to call a game. It was out of control. I can't deal, yo. I can't deal. Shout out to Gabriel for subscribing. Thanks a lot, man. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Eric says, just got done putting my predictions in all the college football games together. Man, I can't wait till we do brackets for college. It's going to be fun. Furious says, is that a proper question? Jonas says, Storm, I support Jay, but I don't support his and your thoughts. And that's why I love you guys. Listen, you don't have to support my thoughts. This is all, everybody's got their own opinions, but we all one big family. We're all sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table, and we're talking about football. But we still all eating together. Pass me the potatoes. I'll pass you some turkey and the ham and the dressing and the collard greens. You pass me the baked mac and cheese. And then, I'm going to tell you your team sucked this week, and you'll say mine sucked, but we still going to eat at the table together. That's how this goes. It's always a great time. I love all of y'all. So there you go. Mystic says, you think Josh will bounce back this week? Also, I have him and Diggs in the fantasy. Josh is my starting quarterback in fantasy, bro. Nobody needs Josh to perform more than me. But yeah, like I said, the Bills Mafia are a forgiving nation, right? Yes, we're going to talk the most garbage about you if you bomb a week 1 game. But if you bounce back in strong fashion for week 2, all is forgiven. Josh Allen knows that. We know that. But you better damn well go out there and ball and destroy the Raiders. It's just the reality of it. It's just the reality of it. He's got to ease the pain. He's got to ease the pain from last week. He's got to get the Vaseline. I'm on one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Allen's got to get the Vaseline this week, and he's got to ease the pain. All right? It's just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Just the facts. Shout out to you, Forrest. What's going on, bro? going on tonight? Astrology says, pass me the stuffing. I got you, yo. I got you. You know what? While I have you guys here, why not talk about some recent news? What do you guys? You know what? I'll drop a poll. That's what we'll do. We'll drop a poll. Will Aaron Rodgers come back from his injury? There we go. That's a good question for the night. I knew I was going to come up with a good question. I was thinking about this all day. I was like, what question am I going to ask? And it took me until now to make one. So there we go. That's a good question for you guys. We'll see what the poll says. Will Aaron Rodgers come back from his injury? Mystic Cyclone says, I hope Josh runs it more because I'd rather see him run a lot than him throw deep. No, use your running back. Andrew says, who do you got in the Bengals versus Ravens game? I got the Ravens, my friend. Rick says he'll be back next season. He got that dog in him. Listen, 39 years old, Achilles torn. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a tough injury to come back from at that age. It's very tough. Very tough. And I'm not saying that he can't do it, because if there's one person that can, it would definitely be him. But that's just the reality of it. It's tough. It's tough. Let me actually pull up this. We'll pull up some news before we get up out of here. We'll pull up some news. What do we got? Shroud is listed questionable? Yeah, we went through that already. What am I doing? I'm getting tired. Getting tired. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers basically said, watch what I do. Which, don't get me wrong. You know, at the end of the day, there's all kinds of, endorsement deals, and there's all kinds of money involved and all that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, right, he's not going to come out and be like, you know what, I'm done, guys, I retire. He's got to, basically keep up the good faith and keep the people hyped up, especially about the Jets, because it's week 2. So he's not going to come out and completely say he's done. Now, do I think that he's done? Personally, I do. I just don't see him coming back from this. Is it possible that he can? Sure. But it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of rehab. And not only that, if he ever does get back on that field, you have to understand a level of confidence that's going to be shaken at that age, right? Because now you're not 39, you're 40 coming back after an Achilles tear, and you're stepping out on that field. And that's not only got to be a hit to your confidence, but just your overall, thought process and the ability of your body at that point. So,
I'm the oldest wrench in the room.
Shout out to Jonas for the $2 super chat. I'm the oldest wrench in the room? I don't think so, Jonas. I don't think so, sir. That's a good one, though. Eric says, I put $1,200 on all my college football games for the fullbacks in college games, Jay. Really? Okay. Jonas says, ask Jay if you're not Philip, Trevor, and Selena. I'm the oldest wrench in this room. Yeah. There's a few others, Jonas, from basketball. But when you go there, yeah, I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. Jonas is definitely one of the original for football. In which I haven't seen Selena in a minute. She was a huge Cowboys fan. But yeah, I haven't seen Selena in a while. Obviously, Philip is the easy money sniper. He's always hanging out there in the woods, clapping people from 2,000 yards away. Trebot just came back. So, yeah, OG is in the house. OG is definitely in the house. Shout out to you, Rick. Mystic says yes about using running backs, but not two on the third downs and forever. Robert says, and I'm the newest wrench in the room. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, so let's get into this story real quick before we get up out of here. It says the defiant Aaron Rodgers, only 2 days removed from an Achilles tendon surgery, vowed Friday to make a full recovery, confirming he intends to continue his career with the New York Jets. While acknowledging some odds are stacked against me based on age, the 39-year-old quarterback, the oldest player in the NFL, said he intends to prove the naysayers wrong. Give me the doubts, give me the timetables, give me all the things that you think can, should, or will happen, because all I need is that one little extra % of inspiration, he said on the Pat McCaffrey Show. His first public comments since the injury. That's all I need. So give me your doubts, give me your prognostications, and then watch what I do. While he avoided giving any specific timetables, Rodgers did dismiss the possibility of returning for the postseason, which seems highly unlikely based on the traditional rehab period. And just like I said, ladies and gentlemen, after the rehab, the recovery, all that kind of stuff, you're not going to see this man on the field until next year, at least. So there you go. There you go. There you are. Eric says, right now I'm 5-0 on my picks. Going to be 6-0 when Air Force wins. Shout out to you, Eric. Look at you killing them on the college. I like it. I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got? 60 viewers, 65 likes. Can we get to 75? Can we do that? Just need 10 more. Make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up. It is much, much appreciated. I do thank you all for rocking with me tonight. Shout out to each and every one of you for the support. Thank you for the super chats. This is going to be your NFL Week 2 predictions. Obviously, I'll be dropping clips of these predictions for tomorrow, so who didn't watch the whole thing, they can get some of them, and it will go from there. I'll let you guys know as far as Colorado tomorrow. Stream schedule, I'll also put that in the community post. And, yeah, that's going to be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What did we put in? Put in an hour 30 tonight. We put in a little job tonight. Little time. Gate Smasher says, stopping by to say hello to you and give you my support and vote on the question. Rodgers is done. Still cleaning up here in Cedar Key, Florida. Bills Mafia. Shout out to you, Gate Smasher. Thank you for the support, my friend. Shout out to the Bills Mafia down in Cedar Key, Florida. Andrew says, Hurts or Burrow? You mean like right now? Hurts. Without a doubt. Jonas says Bills need to fix that secondary. What have I been talking about? Do you not hear the things that I say about the Bills? I've literally been cooking the Bills secondary for the past year. 2 years, if you want to go there. He just wants to poke the bear. Okay. It's totally fine. Totally fine. Bob says Rodgers is now molding that cheese head. It's now blue cheese. Wow. Wow. Well, hey, I mean, you can't hate on the man that got $75 million who now gets to sit on the couch, right? Long vacation. Long vacation. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to the family. Much love to all you guys, all the listeners, all the watchers. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good night. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great, great night.